Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Sheik asked if I can relate the momentum to the ES action today. And yeah, I mean, certainly. What you can see is that I can't really pull up a chart here on this, but I'm just going to walk you through this on time frames really fast. In the morning, we had a rally that took place coming off of lows around 9:45 into a high at, let me see here. We are looking at a high around 10:20-ish or so. And it's basically coming out of the 10:15 correction period. And there was a slowdown in the momentum at that high where the initial rally off of 10:45, 10:50 lows was stronger. It slowed. It looks like this. And so that slowdown helps shift the momentum. And then we had this drop here. And the action looks like this. And this, the overall momentum of this congestion, is almost a perfect sideways trading range. So compared to the drop, we had this shift in momentum that slowed it, that allowed it to fall strongly into noon. And then it looked like this. And so here again, two waves of correction, 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, this overall congestion here is sideways, so that helped impact the follow-through. And then we had two waves back up here again, 1, 2, and then the breakdown going into the final hour of trade, and that was actually a two-wave sell-off as well. And so the overall momentum of this move on the upside here was stronger than the downside, or sorry, slower than the downside, and so that impacted the follow-through then going into the end of the day. So yes, you can see the shifts in momentum, and notice how when we had that two-wave action, I actually transected a lot of these moves and used that to give you a better feel for what that average momentum is. And that's a great way to look at price action. You can see that by transecting it, it can kind of clarify things a little bit better. But you can look at those two waves individually within the action too. So this is basically what the day looked like. Let me just add that. And this is the day for the ES. So for those of you that don't have a chart up, this is basically what it looks like. Let me clear this, and I'll take a couple more questions here. As Steve pointed out, you can listen to this presentation again at ise.com/archives, ARCHIVES. So if you did miss it, you can definitely catch it there. David asked the question, what's the difference between my 5 technical signals course and my Trading Made Simple course? Trading Made Simple is sort of the kind of name that I give to my series of courses. So the one that she was probably thinking of is the No Indicators Necessary. And the 5 Technical Signals course is my main course that goes over all of my building blocks and how to tie them together. It's the most comprehensive of all of the courses. It has like over 400 pages of text in addition to like 10 hours of audio video. And the Trading Made Simple is part of that, where it's kind of a bonus, and it shows you how you can trade the markets without using any indicators at all. So it actually goes into these two-wave developments in a lot more detail. Half of that part of that course covers those two waves. So if you're getting the 5 Technical Signals course, then the Trading Made Simple, No Indicators Necessary is actually a free bonus that is part of that course. And there's a couple of others. I have a Mastering Momentum Gaps, and that's really great for those of you that trade stocks, even stock options. That's a great one to focus on. And then I have the Market Timing Guide. And the Market Timing Guide is, I had put together sort of a short little ebook at one point that was another bonus to the 5 Technical Signals. And people really liked it. So I went and turned it into a full-length course. I updated all new charts, really went into a lot more depth in it, and I added audio video. There's, I think, about 5 hours of material that is additional for audio video on there. So it really goes into in-depth on, the market timing guide is basically outlines most of my core basic strategies. And so it goes through all the building blocks, gives you pros and cons, and gives you examples. And in the examples, it also shows you how the pros and the cons affected the outcome of the trades, because no trade is going to be textbook perfect. You want to look and see, well, what are the cons, and how do they impact the success as well. So that's a little bit of a kind of more detail on what the courses are and goes into it. Toni asked, do I apply the 3 building blocks to all products in the market? Yeah. I mean, when you're looking at these support and resistance levels, momentum, pace, and trend placement and trend development, these are things where it doesn't matter what you're trading. Like I said, to start with, you can trade the FX options, you can trade stocks, you can trade futures, spot market, Forex, you can trade commodities. It doesn't matter what you're trading, and it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on. Now, the examples in here, we're using the FX options. And for great information on that, you know, the main website is going to be fxoptions.com, and there's actually a number of upcoming webinars that ISE is offering at fxoptions.com that you can catch a little bit more information on trading the options in particular. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check those out. They're always free, so what more can you ask for? I mean, you've got free education, right? So definitely be sure to check them out, and that archives file that Steve mentioned, isc.com/archives, I have classes in there that go back for years, and you will see how predictions that I've made in one webinar will come true and impact in the next session that I've done like 3-4 months afterwards. So it really shows you how the things that I've talked about in this class hold very true from one time frame to the next. I mean, I will show you how, like, say, the trend placement impacts the future development of the Japanese yen. And you'll see that follow through in the next class where it worked exactly as I spoke about. I mean, actually, if you guys attend the New York Expo in February this coming year, I gave a class for Steve for ISE at the Las Vegas Expo in 2008 where I talked about the U.S. dollar outlook. And I showed examples that basically, if you looked at those examples and you overlap them on the prices for what happened over the next couple of years, they lined up exactly. And I'm not talking just the immediate reaction of what happened following that Las Vegas Expo in the next coming weeks. I gave examples of what the next several types of strategies would be coming out of that. And this is all the type of stuff that I'm teaching in these courses. And it shows you exactly that not only do they work, here's examples where I basically went on the spot and they followed through. And so it's not just, you know, we're not just making stuff up here. These are applying to no matter what market you're trading, and they're very, very accurate.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.isc.com/podcasts.